Hi there. This lesson focuses on the sixth IELTS listening task type, the short answer task. It's similar in many ways to the sentence completion task, the fifth listening task that we looked at. We begin by identifying what this task looks like. After that, we look at its main features in more detail. After this lesson, there is a short practice exercise followed by a methods lesson. The methods lesson tells you how to answer this question in more detail. Now, let's get started by seeing what the short answer task looks like and better understand how you can complete it. Identifying the short answer task. Like all tasks in the listening section, you're given a recording that you must listen to. The recording you hear will be about something to do with education, perhaps two people talking about the courses they are taking. Turning now to the question sheet, you will see a list of sentences or statements summarizing key information from the recording. Each of the sentences has a gap you will have to fill using information you will hear in the recording. The questions look very straightforward, as you can see. However, there are a few things that you need to know about answering this type of question. So, let's now take a closer look in a bit more detail. What to look for. The short answer task is designed to test your ability to listen for and identify concrete facts, such as places, prices, or times given in the recording. What I want to do now is give you an example of what you could hear in a recording. This is just an example, but this question type usually follows a similar structure.
You will hear an extract from a talk given to a group who are going to stay in the UK.
As you heard, the first part of the recording gives you a context. That means it gives you some idea of what the subject will be about. In this example, the lecture we hear is about life in the UK. Now we know the context. However, don't dwell on this too long. The recording moves along without stopping. By now you know from the other listening tasks that you must complete the questions by filling in the blanks, and that the recording provides the answers in sequence. Now, let's listen to a bit more of the recording while we look at the question sheet. Let's focus on question 11. It asks that we listen for two factors that can make social contact in a foreign country difficult.
When you're living in a foreign country, it can be more difficult, not just because of the language, but because customs may be different.
We heard the speaker mention two factors that make social contact more difficult, which are language and customs. What we also heard is that the recording moves along quite quickly, so we need to be prepared to coordinate. You need to read ahead and anticipate the answers for the questions a step ahead of the recording, while at the same time following the recording and marking the answers as you hear them. The biggest challenge with this task type is not to become flustered or panicky. If you aren't familiar with this question type, you might panic if you feel the recording is moving along faster than you can keep up with. The best way to deal with this is to be prepared by practicing. Mastering this task has more to do with feeling in control than anything else. If you feel that you have somehow missed hearing an answer to a question, it's okay to skip that question and move on so that you don't fall behind. Now let's summarize. Summary. In this lesson, we looked at the sentence completion task. In this task, we saw that identifying this question type is quite simple. Yet, even though it looks quite straightforward, completing this task can be challenging if you're not prepared. In becoming familiar with this task, you quickly learn that practice is important. You're coordinating several things at the same time, listening, reading, and answering. This is a task that you need to have strategies in place so that you don't let yourself panic or get flustered as the recording plays. We'll talk more about this in the methods lesson, but first be sure to do the practice exercise that follows this lesson. Thanks for watching.